now we're joined by the general manager of the Columbus Blue Jackets, Jarmo Kekalainen. And Jarmo, welcome to our broadcast position.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's see. The playoffs are done. The Stanley Cup's been handed out. All the hardware's been handed out. The draft has gone by, and here we are at the development camp. What is this for you on your schedule? What do you look at this week to have your prospects in town?
I think it's exciting to be able to watch hockey again.
You just love it, huh?
Yeah, this is great. So it's amazing what progress you can see in these young guys just in a matter of one off season or half of off season, getting from last season, having ended some guys maybe in April, and now we're in June, and it's they're at that age where you can physically make such a big difference in a few months, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for those big steps, and that's where you see the desired level of a player, how much he wants to sacrifice and how much work he wants to put into the development to get to the next level. And the guys that have it, you can see the difference. And hopefully we don't have too many that don't have that type of desire, that kind of level off and don't take those steps. But other than that, this week's about education and teaching them what it takes to be a pro, what it takes to be an NHL player.
Now, is that development in testing, or are you talking about overall? I mean, you've had players here that this is the third time at development camp. You've got a kid here who played AAA hockey this year, in Vurry. I mean, is it something you see in the weight room, or is it something you see overall in how they carry themselves, or is it a full package?
I think it's all of it. I think you see just pure size of guys. That some guys like Liam Foudy, I think, grew almost an inch from the time we drafted him to where he is now. And I just saw him in the first time I saw him during this camp, and I talked to him like, "Whoa, you've grown," or I'm shrinking, one or the other. But no, I asked him, and he said he's grown almost an inch. So that's great. And then you see the width; they're getting bigger, and then you see the testing. Testing is another thing of looking at the development, and then you see the pop on the ice, and that's the most important thing, obviously. So all those things combined, it's exciting. I've seen a lot of examples over the years of guys that really have that desire to get to the next level, how they can develop physically. And I always tell the example, we drafted Marian Hossa in Ottawa when I was a European scout there, and we were talking that if he just was half a step quicker, he'd have a potential to be a superstar. And it almost seems like it's nuts that we were even talking about stuff like that, because he was a rocket at the end of his, or most of his career in the NHL. But he had that desire, and every time you'd come to a development camp or training camp, you would just see he would get wider and bigger and stronger, and it was amazing to see that the work that he put in and the development that he got done because of it, and obviously he had a great career.
Jarmo, I know you got to get ready to watch this third game here, but we're talking to Rick a little bit about the way the NHL is now with the salary cap era and how important it is to develop young players, because as your team, as you're accumulating those big contracts, you want to have some young guys that are going to come and contribute with the team. And Rick was complimenting your scouting talent about how you see so many things that most people don't see, neither, and he's trying to learn that. Do you think that is a talent, or how do you come up with being able to evaluate the scale of how a guy like Pierre-Luc Dubois, which you picked ahead of other people that technically should have been picked, what is it that you see, or that what kind of talent do you have, I guess, that makes you make that bold decision?
I don't think I have any special talent for it. I just like to think that in my scouting career I would try to work harder than anybody else just to get to know the player real well, and I think that's when you find out about the character and the desire that I was talking about. You don't hear, you watch this 3-on-3 game, and you can see the skating and the skill and some of the sense and feel and instincts for the game, sure, but it's over the time that you learn to know the guy, how he competes in every situation, how he gets through adversity, how much he wants to put work into becoming an NHL player. Everybody says, "Oh, I want to be an NHL player," but only a few know exactly how much work it takes, and then from that amount, only even a little smaller percentage will do it and want to do it and get through all the pain to get there. So, and that takes a lot of repetition, and I think that the good scouts have that. They watch a lot of games. They focus on the players they like and get to know them inside and out, and most importantly, get to know their character and hockey sense and instincts.
Hockey sense. It's something that it's a phrase it's thrown around a lot, but it's being a step ahead of the play, or it's 2 steps ahead of the play, or is it keeping plays alive? What do you think? What do you look for in hockey sense?
I think it's a lot of different things. It's anticipating, being a step ahead of what's developing on the ice, being able to go where the puck goes. Some guys, the puck just seems to follow them around. It's because they know where to go to get it and how to get open and when to pass, when not to pass, when to use the skill to beat a guy one-on-one instead of passing the puck and all those. That's why it's when you do it so much and you've played all those years of hockey, it becomes an instinct where everything happens automatically. You don't have to think.
Okay.
The guys that overthink, there's just no time to think in the NHL level. In particular, you have to read and react and anticipate, and it has to become an instinct where everything is automatic. And the best players, they do it. They look like they're playing in the backyard, even though it's 7th game of the playoff series. They never get uptight about it, and they just play the game that like they always played it and enjoy it and love it, and they're having fun. That's a huge part of it too, in my opinion.
I'm interested to understand how this works, because you have 14 draft picks here from different years, including this year, which was just a week ago, where you picked up an extra pick, and you've also got a bunch of free agent invites. Is that scouts? Is that a committee effort to decide who's going to be invited here? Or is there players that have been passed over that you have a real good look on or read on that you're excited to have here too?
Yeah, it's a combination of those. Obviously, the draft picks are coming here, and some of them for the have been here a few times before, and then this is a recruiting tool for some of the college free agents that we've identified, guys that are still going back to college for another year.
Oh, okay.
So you want to introduce them to your organization, the city, the facilities, all that stuff, and show interest, and that's part of it. And then we have to think about our rookie team in Traverse City. So some of the junior free agents are here to show what they have or how they can fit. If we need a body or if we need a player for our rookie team in Traverse City. So combination, a lot of those different things, but it's not so much of an evaluation camp. Even the 3-on-3 here is more of a fun and rewardable for the hard work all week to have a little bit of fun here. So we're not going to be cutting guys or thinking that this guy's going to make our team based on a 3-on-3 tournament at the end of June.
Great. Last question, because I know you want to get back to watching these games here.
I got a couple more.
We talked about this development camp, and Jody and I, we said, the on-ice part is really important, obviously, because you want to see what the guys are. But probably the most important part, in my opinion, is probably the outside section of it, where you're showing these guys how to train, how you want them to train, and the nutrition aspect, obviously, of the game, because hockey is now a 12 months business. It's no longer summers off. You're water skiing as a workout. Obviously, it changed.
I want to do that.
That was Guy Lafleur's technique, by the way.
Oh, is that right?
But things have changed, obviously, and you're just trying to give all these tools to these young players, obviously. But how important it is to you to make sure that you have a successful camp here, and that these guys are really learning and growing from the experience.
It's really important. That's why we've had different areas that we've covered, from cooking classes to buying groceries to sports psychology to the speaker from the NFL with Nate Ebner that we had yesterday was really interesting, and his story and the hard work that he had to and adversity that he had to go through to get where he got with 3 Super Bowl rings and having played in the Olympics for USA on the rugby team. It was an awesome thing to hear, and I hope the players enjoyed it as much as we did. But we've covered a lot of different areas, and again, it's part of the education on how to be a pro, how to become an NHL player.
We've got to ask you, Jarmo, how's the week going with free agency?
It starts next week.
I got to ask you. No, that's good. I mean, you're probably sick of hearing the question. We hear it all around town. Is Bob coming back? Is Panarin coming back? Is Duchesne coming back? I'm not going to ask you that. How excited are you to get to July 1st and get through this week and see where you're at in 10 days from now?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some opportunities for us, and I've said it all along that we accepted the risk at the deadline. That if all the guys were just rentals, we had Bobrovsky and Panarin, and maybe for the last time, and that's why we went for it. We wanted to add to the team, keep the team, and add to the team as much as possible to give it the best possible chance. And I think we had just as good a chance as anybody else to win the cup. We didn't. We fell short of that, but it was fun while it lasted. And now we got to go back to work, and we're going to be a good team no matter what happens here. Our core is in place, and our defense is awesome, and we have some really talented young goalies coming in and hungry to prove that they can be a number one goalie. And as a matter of fact, Sergei Bobrovsky was his number 2 goalie in Philly before he got here and became the number 1 goalie in the NHL.
That's right.
And almost every goalie in the NHL started that way. If it's not Carey Price or Martin Brodeur or a couple others, but the Kiprusoffs and the Bobrovskys of the world, they all were. Ben Bishop, they were all number 2 goalies before they became number
Leonard.
1s.
How about Leonard and Grice?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the 2 number 2s, really.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they were coming into this season. So,
yeah.
Does the fact that St. Louis won with a young netminder, a rookie, Carolina did what they did with their goaltending, and then you look at Long Island, does that give you a different perspective, a different approach, or do you watch the rest of the league in that sense, or do you really just focus on what you have and what's available?
No, we watch the league, obviously, but we don't try to be copycats. We've said this all along, that we believe in we think Elvis Merzlikins is a heck of a prospect to become a number 1 goaltender in the National Hockey League. We believe that about Korpisalo. The stretches where he got to play regularly as a number 1 when Bobrovsky was hurt is the time when he's had excellent save percentages and performances. So if Bobrovsky decides to leave, then these guys will compete for ice time, and hopefully one of them or maybe both of them can show us that they can be number 1 goalie in this league, and then it happens again where a number 2 goalie becomes a number 1. It's happened a lot, and hopefully it'll happen here again.
It must be nice to know, I mean, in a sense, that you're going to be giving players opportunities. And I know you spoke highly of Bemstrom all season. We're getting to see him here. And you talk about the goaltending. You're right. You're in a position now where you do have a great core put together, Jarmo. You've done a good job with that. You've taken this organization to a place they've never been. Your players now have seen disappointment against the Capitals and then a little success last year, making it halfway through the playoffs. So you're going to add either within or if you can add to free agency. So you're adding to a good group is what I'm trying to say. You feel good about the position you're in.
Yeah. That's why there were core pieces that we weren't going to move, whether it's on the prospect side or on our roster, to add any of the star power that we may have had at the end of the season here. And those are the guys we're building around, the Seth Joneses and Pierre-Luc Dubois and guys like that are the guys that we're building around, and they're young and they're only going to get better. And I could compare our defense core to anybody's in the league for sure. And I don't think we're going to get too many arguments that we're among the best in the league as far as our defense group goes.
Now, there'll be a lot of teams that will probably switch with you. Well, we appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of the camp here. It's wrapping up as Team Gray is making a push. And good luck in the free agency and the off season, and we'll see you at camp.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jarmo.